Ultra Live's Infinity War Edition. So we're gonna let you know in advance that we're gonna do our best not to spoil anything for you, but after $250 million the movie made this weekend, we're guessing most of you guys saw this movie.
That's a lot of cheddar.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's the skeptics, the ones that there was one guy I know on Facebook, and he was just dogging the movie all week until Saturday, and then he's like, hey, I'm going to see the movie. But the whole time during the week on Facebook, oh, this movie sucks, I'm not going to see it, I don't care anything about Infinity War, and then he goes to see it, and I'm just like, dude, shut up, you're about to get unfriended, dude.
What did he say? I mean, what did he say after?
Oh, he went and saw it twice. Not just once, he went and saw it twice.
Oh.
He's just one of those loudmouths.
He probably works for Rotten Vegetables.
Watching Rotten Vegetables.
But you know what? But you know, speaking of that,
no.
I was speaking about, you know, again, you know, I actually agreed with it, you know, for this movie, but we'll get into that later.
Okay. So you read their review and you were all like, yeah, spot on.
Oh no, I didn't read their review.
Exactly. He don't read reviews.
No, I didn't read the review.
But
you know, the grade that they gave it, I agreed with the grade.
Oh, okay. I didn't even see it. I don't bother with it. It's one of those things where it's just like,
Well, it's just that when you go to Infinity War, like say, you know, like, you know, it's all over, you know, say,
social media and all
social media, or when I say social media, but the thing is, like when you go to Google, of course.
Yeah.
And you know.
It's like their version of the crawl. Their version of the crawl.
Yeah, you know, say Infinity War made 250 million, and right below it, it'll show you the Rotten Tomatoes, you know, the grade, and like. And when they gave it the grade, I said, you know what? I do agree with that grade.
Wow. Do you remember offhand what they said?
They gave it an 86.
86?
They gave it 86%. And I would agree with it.
Yeah, we need to 86 the tomatoes is what we need to 86.
So, you know, you know, again, it's rare. You know, it's rare when I agree with them.
It actually is.
So, you know, and when I saw the grade, I was like, you know what? You finally got it right.
Wow.
If I could hit him with the gauntlet right now, I would snap my fingers. I would snap my fingers right now. Anyways, moving on. So, again, what the fuck? We're having technical difficulties. Instagram's going down. Yeah, we're gonna roll on.
Okay. Sorry, Instagram.
Bye. Bye. So, rolling on with Infinity War. Let's see, what do we want to talk about first? Characters, or do we want to talk about execution? What do y'all feel like?
Well, overall, you know what this is talking about overall.
I guess we're going to talk about overall.
I mean, you and I were talking about, how did y'all feel for it?
I liked it overall, and this is my one issue with the movie is the ending is, yes, this is supposed to be a big deal. I haven't read the comics, but, I was kind of like, that tells you everything that's going to happen in the next movie, and I'm like, nah, I mean, of course I'm going to go see the next movie, but it's not like, oh my god, what just happened, you know?
Well, like I had said, from paper to film, you can only do so much. I mean, not everything is going to come across. Of course, they left off important characters that they're not going to have in part 2. That's one thing for sure, because it is a 2-parter. Well, who called that one? And then also the fact that they did have to leave some stuff out, but then you Rachel made a great point. She didn't read the comics. So if you didn't read the books, you're okay with that. But with everything that was coming up, that was leading up to it though, certain things should have happened, but they didn't. So that's one of those ones where it's just like, well, you could have, but you didn't. You kind of missed it on that one though. But it's all right for... Not everybody read the books, and I'm sure once he started making the appearances, everybody went back and started reading as much as they could, you know. It's one of those things where I always say, if you didn't read them before and you read them now, then, you know, it's just not the same because you don't get all those tie-ins. You didn't get a collective omnibus. That's one of the things, though. Because, yeah, you had your main 6 parts, but then it's all the other ones that tied in, where it tied into Iron Man, Thor, you know, Captain America, everybody else. All of those, it affected everything, but you know, great amount of characters.
You can say the same thing about Civil War, and
yeah,
I'm kind of tend to agree with you. Is those were the 2 big opportunities Marvel had
because of the fact that with the name of it, Civil War, that one right there, that was huge in the books, and that was a little bit more recent. Infinity Stones, yes, because it was a epic tale. But
And two, the thing with Civil War is whether you're into comics or not, people knew, oh my God, Captain America died. Like, I remember the day that issue came out, I was in college and me and my roommate were getting ready to head down for breakfast. And she was the one, because she knew I was into comics, like, Captain America died? What happened? What's going on? And I was like, what? I'm glad I wasn't reading Civil War, because you just told me that. Because it was, like, on her homepage news feed, and, like, it was that big of a deal. Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like we say, you know, it was on CNN. It was like Good Morning America, I think, even said something about it. Yeah. You know.
See, and so that's why to me the spoiler alert or the spoiler warnings doesn't matter anymore. The freaking media is gonna ruin it for you. You just said it. I'm glad I'm not reading comics. It doesn't matter. The rest of the world found out before you did. Hey, Captain America died in the comics yesterday. Just like any other character. Whenever a significant character dies, we usually hear about it in the news media. So it doesn't matter if you're following along or not. In today's social society, it's gonna be news. So, but the two opportunities that they had, and this can go back to the first Thor. In the first Thor, the Infinity Gauntlet was there with all the stones, but that got ignored because once Marvel realized the potential of this franchise, they're like, okay, forget everything we set in place before except for these few things. We're gonna go this way with it. So again, the head shed wasn't thinking. They didn't say, what are our two biggest story arcs that we can run with? Can we do Civil War at the same time as doing the Infinity Stones? And somebody should have said, yes, we can. How many movies can we get out of it? We can get about 25 movies out of that. Okay, how much are we going to spend? There should have been a lot more thinking instead of just like, all right, Iron Man worked, and Thor worked, and Captain America worked. Hey, we're assembling the Avengers. Let's do this. There should have been way more thinking. Because, I mean, look at it. $250,000, or $50 million, I'm sorry. But didn't they spend $500 million to make each one of the movies? Wasn't the number?
I don't remember.
Wasn't it $500 million to make each Infinity War and then Avengers 4?
No idea.
It's been a while since we had looked at those numbers, but I thought those were the numbers. But even so, it's done $250 million the first weekend. It's done over $600 million worldwide. They've recouped their money. It'll probably hit $1 billion in the next week or two. So they're going to recoup their money. Just more thought into it. And we'll get into that later when it comes down to marketing and merchandise. Because, I mean, I was sitting there the whole time like, okay, I want that, and I want that, and hopefully they make that. So, you know, there's a lot of opportunities on top of the ridiculous stuff that they make to cater towards kids. Get your Nerf-firing Captain America shield. Okay, let's talk about some actual collectibles.
Yeah, that'll come out real soon, though. And I mean, but everything else has been out. That's why you'll see the what is it? The Hot Toys, it was the Hot Toys, wasn't it? That came out and the Sideshow piece. That's why those literally went up in price.
Which one?
The Thanos.
You know, no, I have not seen the market go up in price on Thanos on Throne. But as you see, as our Facebook cover photo, there is a Thanos on Throne that a customizer is making. And I don't have any more detail on it, but it's getting so much traction with just our fans. It tells you that was a better version than what Sideshow produced, which is why I don't own the Sideshow, because it has no relevance. It doesn't connect to anything.
Yeah. It'll go up though. I mean, everything will, you know, and it's just because people are going to want the one that they made first or whichever.
The better version is what people want.
Yeah, and that's going to come out later. And that's where you get your customizers that take the time to take about 6 months to make it correct, to make it the way that everybody wants it. Because everybody wanted him basically to be in full armor, and he wasn't.
Yeah.
Only for a little bit. You saw him in the beginning, and then you saw him towards the middle with the whole Gamora thing. That's what everybody wanted, that through the whole thing, because that's the only way you see him in the books.
Well, why? Why do you think Marvel chose to take the armor off for the most part of the movie?
Well, because they didn't follow it to begin with. I mean, the whole storyline it was totally different from the books.
His whole reasoning.
Yeah.
His whole motivation for getting the gauntlet and the
It was different from the comics.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about before the show started.
Yeah. But you know, like for me, I think you get the emotion. You know, I guess with the helmet, you can't get it.
Especially with the Soul Stone and Gamora, is they wanted you to empathize with him. They wanted you to feel for him more. Even they were talking about that last scene with Mora after he snaps his fingers is what did it cost? Everything.
Yeah. Well, see, and you're really making me miss Jess because I really wanted Jess to dive into the writing and whatnot because it really resounded with her. But with Gamora, the statement that he made is she made the statement that I resented you for that, and then he responded, well, then I made you one of the strongest women in the galaxy, and she can't deny that because she was, in Guardians of the Galaxy, everybody knew you don't mess with Gamora. You know who this is? This is Gamora. So it's interesting, and that's what we're talking about. Is that we're kind of jumping the gun? Is how can you dislike this guy? And that's real life because sometimes you can resent your parent for what they made you become, but they made you a stronger person. And that's what that scene in Infinity War did. She resented Thanos, but I made you stronger.
That's what he was doing. That's why he made her. That's why he made her the way she was, and then he made Nebula to almost mirror her in a sense, because he knew that Nebula was more, you'll do what I say. And Gamora, he already knew back then because of the fact that he did say, I never taught you to lie. That's why you're so bad at it.
Love that line.
One of the things is though too, it's like you got to realize he already knew what he was doing. You don't like him because of what he does throughout the before. He kills half the population of a planet. That's not exactly like something that everybody wants. He does it on his own. He did it because of the fact that he understood on Titan. That's what happened on Titan. So he just started doing it that elsewhere on his own. Gamora always said, she says, we were happy. No, but you were hungry. You went bad. And then he says, and then I made everything better. Now it's a paradise. Not necessarily because a lot of those people still remember, hey, there was more people here. What happened? Some dude came and killed half of everybody.
Missing, their mother, their child, whoever.
Yeah, because they did it like that though.
And that was the conflict, that was the conflict that, that they're having is that who gets to choose, and again, we see it in numerous movies. Who do you get to choose who dies and who lives? But when, in reality, it's like Thanos is all like, I don't care. Is that, the population just needs to be in check.
Yeah, but that's why
population control.
He cut it in half. Rich, poor, it didn't matter because that's what he said. He says, it's just like, okay, if you got a family of 4, 2 y'all are gone. But that was one of the things though. It's just all like, it's got to be done that way.
And then there was another line in the movie between Cap and Vision where we're not trading lives here. So, that's why I enjoy these little sit downs and combing overs because I'm really starting to see why Jessie really, she really liked the writing. I mean, I saw it the second time I saw it. I saw it the first time, it was entertaining. The second time, it just really hit. When you really hear the writing and it really settles in, you're like, wow. And then when you even tear it apart even more afterwards, you're like, wow.
What was I know you asked about execution but are you talking about as far as overall?
What I'm looking from you is I'm looking for direction, execution in comparison. This is the Russo brothers we're talking about. We know what they're good at. They gave us Winter Soldier. So when they executed Infinity War, I'm looking at production value. I'm looking at how did it turn out. There are things about it that don't add up to Winter Soldier, but as I've said, this is a different movie. The masterfulness of this is pulling together 17 films into one film. So that's an achievement in itself. That's masterful. The question I have for you is that worth an Academy Award? Again, you made the argument that, well, nobody had the budget in the past to do that. Okay, sans the budget. Being able to pull together 17 films into one film and make it work, is that worth an Academy Award?
Part 2 will be.
No. This film, no.
Yeah.
See, I think you're being biased.
Part 2 has the potential because Part 2 is really the one that's going to wrap it all up.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of the movies led up to this point, but the story's not over. They haven't wrapped it up yet.
I know.
They
You're just going to tie up all the loose ends.
Part 2, if Part 2 pulls it off, then that has the chance.
And I'm not being biased, but I'm trying to compare it to, okay, look at Lord of the Rings. All right, the two towers, right? Or the twin?
The two towers.
Yeah, the two towers, right? Yeah, the two towers It was the second one, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because the
Okay,
third
was
one
the
is Return
fellow-
of the King.
Okay,
Yeah.
the third one is the one that wrapped everything up, as they were saying, and that's the one that won the Academy Award. This one, they're still.
This one puts
Yeah.
it in the spotlight. It puts it in the discussion.
Yeah.
Part 2 will sit there and like cement it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If done correctly, and like I said, for the geeks and the nerds, you're missing the two important people. But you got.
But to everybody else, it doesn't matter.
3.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
I mean,
All right, Rayman.
as far as going forward, it did a good job because I was getting antsy with as far as this comedy, like the ridiculous comedy as Thor Ragnarok.
It wasn't too much.
It wasn't too much.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad, but it left a little bit in there, and that's where I.
Well, because look who you got coming in. You finally have Quill interacting with
Avengers.
outside of the normal Guardians.
Yeah.
So and then, in all honesty, Drax was kind of still him because he's had that whole thing with the damn pretzels or whatever the fuck he was
Whatever
eating.
it was, right?
Yeah, because the way he said it.
But you know what? It was fine when he, like when he appeared after their kissing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he had a little chuckle, but it kept going. Like, oh God, I was like, why are you ruining it when it was actually just fine as the way it is? I think John and I were talking. It's like someone told a joke, right? And it was funny, but then he just, this person just keeps adding,
Yeah.
and adding, and then okay, come on, it's not funny anymore.
But
Yeah.
you expected that because of the fact from 1 and 2. So that that's why I was like, well, it wasn't
his-
too
His
bad.
character doesn't really understand the.
Yeah, because remember,
Okay,
yeah,
stop.
remember the one major joke in the first one. He goes, it goes over his head. He goes, nothing goes over my head. I'm too fast. It's like you're just like, oh sweet Jesus. He's like,
He takes everything literally.
yeah, it's literal.
But Star-Lord confirms that for you. He takes it. His race takes everything literally.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's one of those things though. That's why it's like with him, I kind of
Was he like
Put
that
his-
in the comic book?
no.
Because I never read. No, right?
No.
I think he's more serious in the comics.
Oh, he
more
was
serious-
Drax the Destroyer.
Yeah, Drax the
You
Destroyer.
talking about a heavy
why
hitter.
why are we
No,
doing
no,
Drax the idiot?
but see, no. But see, that's what
Writing.
we were talking about before the show. The same thing with him. In the comic, you have this revered villain who is not to be crossed. Hulk doesn't cross him. Thor doesn't cross him. You don't cross this guy. We didn't get that in Infinity War. We got a humanized villain who has philosophy to him, who has thought to him, who's looking far, far down the road more than any of the Avengers. Because the Avengers aren't looking at that. They're just trying to keep humanity safe. They can't see what he sees. And so that's for the audience to get too. And, I'd love to talk to other nerds and geeks and say, so do you hate Thanos? Do you like Thanos? But we'll get more into that. So again, back to the production of the Russos. While this is a different animal than the Winter Soldier, the quality, the cinema, you got to see it in the premium format IMAX. So how did it measure up?
As far as cinematically, it was really great. I recommend everybody to go see it in IMAX. The sound was great, but to get that, just the pure size of Thanos, because again he is a formidable foe. To get that, you have to see it in IMAX. I personally liked it in IMAX. Again, the comedy. Again, we can go beyond that, but when you get that scope at the end, that great battle scene, that you need to see that on
Him
IMAX.
and Scarlet, or just the Wakanda battle.
No, the Wakanda battle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
in order to you get the full scope and full realm of it.
Yeah.
I thought that was an excellent shot.
I would have to say that would remind me of the Gladiator, because that on IMAX, that one, the couple of the battles that they
You
had.
know what? I saw several movies.
So it was like
Gladiator, Alexander.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever seen
Yeah,
Alexander.
that was a good one.
Okay, however, there was a little bit of Star Wars, The Phantom Menace in there. I don't know if you saw. Okay, remember when when they put the force field?
Okay.
Like if droids come out and they.
Oh
go through
yeah,
it?
okay, yeah.
Okay, that kind of reminded
Wow.
me of that.
But
Did
they
you
walked
actually-
through it though? They were
But
able
no,
to go.
They weren't able to go through it. That's so. If
Yeah,
you
they were.
No, well, the Phantom Menace were able to walk through it to where.
The aliens in this one, they could.
No, that's what I'm saying. On Phantom Menace, they went through.
Yeah, they.
But
went
on this
through it.
one, no. They
On
were
this one,
literally. They were
killing
making
themselves.
the openings for the other ones to get
Yes.
through. They understood, like, It's like they say, the
If
guy
they
jumped on
flank
the
us.
grenades. Yeah, the guy jumped on the grenade and everybody else goes, he dies. It was one of those.
So real quick, tangent. Did anybody catch the Star Wars reference in Wakanda? Aside from that, because I really didn't see that until you brought it up. Do you guys see it? So when I don't know her name, Michonne, we'll just say Michonne. When she rolled the ball onto her thing, the notice came up that there was incoming. There was a globe, and if you pay attention real quick, there's a second inner globe on the globe, so it looks like the Death Star. It looks
because it said it's entering the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It was over that, because it was tilted. Yeah.
And I thought that was great. I didn't notice that the first time, but the second time on IMAX, I caught it. I was like, oh look, the Death Star.
Oh, it kind of looks like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's funny.
I thought, and it's just culture, in a lot of movies that aren't even pop culture related, they have Star Wars references.
They probably didn't even notice it, but it's
it's Disney. Come on.
Well, when they did it, somebody said like, well, when she's looking at it, put the little blips because it blipped out. It went from the center to the outer, showing that it was coming. So somebody probably did the design, and the geeks and the nerds would be like, hey, that's like the guy that did it probably wasn't like, oh shit, yeah.
Can you articulate the difference in the visual quality between Winter Soldier and Infinity War?
What do you mean by that?
The visual quality, that's the biggest thing I look at when I look back at Winter Soldier. Is it had this unique quality to it, and for the longest time I thought you and I were on the same page, but I'm almost
like for Winter Soldier, it had that realism in there.
It was less of a superhero movie.
Yeah, it was
more like a thriller, a spy thriller.
Like a spy thriller, right?
Yeah.
Okay, to where this one you had a lot of CGI.
It was a superhero movie.
Yeah, it was a superhero movie.
Yeah.
But, okay, but what I was looking for was more like what you're saying, the execution. That it had that same feel, for Winter Soldier. That realism, and I only got the realism through Thanos, and when Captain America, Falcon, when Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Spider-Man.
when they're on Titan.
Yeah, when they're on Titan, and of course you're dealing with Quill, you're dealing with
Drax, Mantis.
And
you know what? You see, like
the other one.
You know what?
Nebula.
I didn't care for that. I cared for what was going on back on Earth because it was more serious, and I just wish it was that throughout the whole movie.
It did get serious because they came up with the plan to literally disarm him, and that's the one where it's all like, okay, now as far as that goes, you got to realize they didn't exactly have the biggest heavy hitters there. You basically have, like, they were making fun of them. You had a wizard, a guy in a suit, well, two guys in a suit, and then you just had like a big meathead, Drax.
Yeah, Drax.
So it's like that little group was able to do a whole lot more than everybody else. So that seemed a little real because you got to remember when Iron Man and Peter were there, you hear Spider-Man, and he literally goes, "It's almost off. It's almost off."
Yeah. Stay away from it, Quill. Get away from it.
Like right there, and then you see where it gets past his thumb, and you're just like, holy shit! And then it's like, as soon as her hands leave it, it just took that 1 second, and that was it. But yeah, that one, I want to say that seemed a little more real because they had that plan and they were ready to go.
So then,
it was a good plan.
Yeah,
it's just that what I didn't care for is the comedy within the plan. It's like
he just doesn't
Cool,
like
yeah.
I get frustrated with with those characters when they should be serious characters.
Especially in a situation like that.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's why they showed.
Wait, say that again, Rachel. I wasn't.
Especially in a situation like that.
But that's why Quill lost his shit, and then he started hitting him.
Because the things you're thinking of Gamora.
Yeah.
Again, Quill seemed to be the only one in focus. Mantis as well. But the thing is, should there be comedy in a situation, as Rachel was saying, in a situation like that? It's where when you see it on, when you see all the stuff going on Earth in Wakanda, they're never, there's never comedy there.
Yeah, the Black Panther and the clans, there was no comedy there.
Yeah, there was that little snip.
Just with Hulkbuster.
Yeah.
No.
And again,
where Thor, just real fast, where he goes, "Oh, this is one of my good friends," and it's like, bam, I am Groot. I'm Steve Rogers.
That was funny.
Well, you know what? Okay, no.
That's why I said a little snip, here and there.
Little snip, but it wasn't so profound when like it's all the time with Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
Iron Man.
Not so much with Strange, though.
I'm
Not so
saying,
much.
I'm just saying when
With
they're on
Guardians.
time.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, like
Wait,
when they're on
Rachel's already nailed it. It's the Guardians. With you, the Guardians
Yeah.
are annoying. It's just like
Mainly it's Drax.
Yeah.
It's Drax, it's like,
Drax
Really?
is the one that kind of does it for you.
Yeah.
It's
So we'll
almost
get
it's
you in
almost
a
like
room.
freaking Van Diesel's on the.
We'll get you
on
in a
the
room
film.
with Batista, and then you can tell him and like everything you hated.
Oh, dude, I'll bring the popcorn up. Go ahead,
show
Diego.
going.
Look at this slow.
So knowing you, I'm kind of guessing that. Did you like the scene where Proxima and I don't know the other guy's name, the elf-looking guy, when they were fighting Black Widow, Falcon, Captain America.
Are you talking about Odin and
Michelle?
Sunny scene in London?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Did you like that?
Oh, I love that scene.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah,
kind of see. I know Diego, but the other thing about that scene is that I was thinking the whole time, and both times I saw it. I kid you not, both times I saw it at that scene when you hear the Avengers music come on and then Cap shows up. My hair stands on end on my whole body. I'm just like, wow. And to me, that just says how powerful the Avengers theme is. And so my thought process as I'm sitting there thinking is I'm like. Because I've never heard anybody say it. I've never heard anybody say that the Avengers theme is in the same bracket as the Star Wars theme. For every geek and nerd, when the Star Wars theme comes up, that's euphoria. I feel like the Avengers the theme is there as well.
No.
No?
No, because you only get that. It's very short, right? To where Star Wars, another good one is Superman, the original Superman.
Yeah.
Because it carries on for like say a good. Yeah, there you go.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Like when it showed up in Justice League, like you start hearing it and you're like, is that it?
That's it. Holy shit, that's it.
Yeah.
Because the thing is,
Fucking Danny Elfman, thanks a lot.
It carries on for a good,
Danny Elfman.
like for all the credits, right? Those songs carry on for like a good 5 minutes. So
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
5, 6
To where the
minutes.
Avengers is like, okay, it's just like
It's like a jingle.
yeah, it's like a jingle.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say
it
it's
lets
like
you know what's going on and shit's going down from then on. But one of the things that got me, and I mean, I didn't really say anything because I was just really thinking about it this whole weekend. The fact that it's set up, but then you lose the character. It set you up so this way you understand that the most powerful one, according to Marvel in their cinematic universe, the next powerful person is the Scarlet Witch. And it is kind of funny because, I don't remember her name, but Michonne, she does make the comment, what was she doing up there this whole time? But the thing is, though, when you go back to certain books, you don't want her around. You really don't. She did make it to where when she got pissed for a whole arc, and I want to say it was maybe 10. You can chime in if you want later, but there was a 10-book arc where she wiped out mutants and only left 198, if I'm not mistaken, because she got upset on something.
Now you're not confusing that with Phoenix, right?
No.
Because you said mutants.
Yeah, no, she's
She's a mutant.
She's a mutant.
She's in the universe.
Yeah.
She's Magneto's daughter.
Yeah, she wiped out that whole part because of the fact that she got pissed off. And that was one of the things. It's like, me and probably some of the other nerds are all like, yeah, why wasn't she? No joke. And I was like, she has the ability to blow a stone. I mean, that's like next to impossible because that's what started
Crazy.
everything.
Yeah.
It was just like, you wanted it to see how far she would go, but it's like, they had it like right there, and then the character's gone,
and
but
the thing is,
for now.
And see, and there's a part in there in the Wakanda scene, and I was telling Lewis, which kind of got it kind of annoyed me. Okay, what was it? Proxima's beating up Scarlet Witch, right? And then all of a sudden, she's about to like almost annihilate her, right? But then
Michonne.
Michonne, right? And the Black Widow show up. Oh, she's not alone, right?
Yeah.
But it seemed like Black Widow could take on Proxima, who's supposed to be this freaking
Giant alien.
giant alien.
So like and see, that was the other thing though too.
Remember when she pounds down?
Yeah.
And then Black Widow just holds it out. If it's nothing, I go, okay, come on.
Yeah, one of the other things is though it should have been because of the fact that when the Black Order came out, yes, they were awesome, they were great, they were heavy hitters, but the only ones that they showed that you could see that they were more imposing, except for her, because she's supposed to be just like the other ones, like Cole and Shaw and Ma or whatever.
Ma is the first one.
Yeah, Ma, and then Cole, I think his name, and then
Poseidon.
I forget the other guy. Yeah, and see, there's some. You could see that they are literally almost 2.5 feet taller than everybody else. She's supposed to be that same, but she wasn't, and that's what was kind of killing me. I was just like, well, shit, you have them because they're still smaller than Thanos, and that's one of the ones where it was just like, okay, that makes sense. But then she's fighting them, and it's almost like they're on an even playing field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and that's what we were talking about before the show, is that was one of the things about the movie, is that we had said this before Infinity War came out. We wanted to see the Avengers like whip, like, damn, man, how are we going to defeat this guy? And there were opportunities, and they missed it. And that was one of the opportunities where you have the Michonne character, you have Scarlet Witch, and you have Black Widow facing this giant alien she's pretty formidable. And, you know, they take her on relatively easy.
Yeah.
And see, and that's when I was going back to production and execution with the Russos, because one of the things I wanted to see in Infinity War was another one of the Captain America versus Winter Soldier fight scene. I mean, that was just a cinematic battle that we'll never forget. I mean, to sit there and watch Cap go at it with Winter Soldier, and he knocks out the gun, and then he gets out the knife, and the knife gets knocked out, and he catches it, and he goes back at it. I mean, you've never seen anything like that on TV. That was amazing. And so I'm like, all right, this should be good. And Infinity War started off with it because, I mean, Josh Brolin as Thanos against Hulk, I was like, all right, that's badass. So I was expecting more, and we didn't really get it. We got Hulk versus Thanos. What was the next one? We got the scene with the Avengers versus Proxima and the other one. Then we got Cap versus Thanos, which was really good. And then what was the... Oh, I liked when all the Avengers came together, and that's what I was going to ask you guys. So, did you guys like that? You know, when it was Stark and Spider-Man and Drax and who else was there?
Quill,
Nebula,
Mantis,
and then Strange brought in Mantis, and then Quill finally came over to talk his shit after Thanos is restrained. Yeah. But did you like that Mantis could hold him? I mean. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the dialogue.
Yeah, Strange already had the gauntlet hand. And then Quill pretty much put the magnet on his other hand.
Yeah.
Drax had him by the foot. And then Spider-Man was already throwing webs all over him. And then that's when she dropped out, because that was her only chance to literally get to his head. She had to make skin contact with him.
Yeah.
You know, and that was one of the things, though. And I mean, it's just like, yeah, I get it and everything. But I mean... She never said sleep to him. But then she did say he's too powerful. Even if she was trying to make him go down, he just was it was too much for her.
And I like that. I like that strength aspect, but I liked how big he was. I mean, his head was the size of practically Mantis, dude. I was like,
well, she barely had her legs around.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it barely. She didn't exactly like cross ankles, you know, but. I mean, he's too massive of a character. That they had correct.
And like knowing that, you see Spider-Man and
Iron Man.
Like both of them are on
one arm.
Just one arm.
Yeah.
Damn.
They're trying to rip it off, and just the fact, that's what I was saying, just the fact that those two, with their suits, because you did see the Iron Man, you know, the Iron Spider suit, and that was one of the ones where it's just like, it should have had more. Kind of like how in Homecoming, they said, you know, training wheels off, and then more shit popped up. That suit, it should have been high tech to the level of one of Stark's latest Mark, whatever, 52, whatever.
Well, they almost kind of stopped doing that. Now it's just like the nanotech suit. There wasn't even a name for it. It's like, hey, it's nanotech. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, that was with him and Banner, you know. But he was surprised at all the shit that came off, because Banner's just used to, it's incorporated on the suit. It pops up. You know, he wasn't used to oh shit, that just came
Where did that come from?
Yeah, he was just all like, whoa, you know. But that was one of those ones where it's just like, yeah, no, it's more advanced technology, you know.
Now, however, I know I did like that scene. I also like the subway scene. The one that kind of I won't say it didn't, but it just didn't follow through. Was when they're in, I think, New York, right, with the Iron Man, Doctor Strange.
With the Maul, when they're facing Maul.
Yeah, Banner and
Wong, yeah.
Right? And then you got Banner's having it's having
identity crisis, basically.
It's having an identity crisis.
Well,
and the thing is, like he's not changing, right?
But you know why though?
Oh, I know why.
Okay.
But the thing is, what's pissing me off was like,
wait, I actually want to hear you say why.
Like seriously, you're
embarrassing me in front of the Wizards.
You're embarrassing in front of the Wizards. Okay.
That's stark though.
But like I said, it's like, is that a time for that? No, it's not a time for that.
Yeah, but he says little snippy things though.
That's stark.
He'll give his.
But the thing is, it's supposed to be, what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like, dude, get your shit together. While he's trying to get your shit together. Let's, like whatever it is.
Even if it's a snippy comment, get your shit together more than you're embarrassing.
Okay, now let me ask you, why do you think he didn't Hulk?
Okay, because the thing is, because finally for the first time, Hulk, he faces fear. And the thing is, because he can't, remember when he comes back, he's like, oh shit, I just faced something, like, we're gonna be in trouble, and he's, so finally the Hulk doesn't want to come out because he's fearful for the first time.
Because he did get beat.
Yeah, he got beat.
And the thing was, the one main thing is, you always know that Hulk knows he's strong. This was the first time that he took somebody on that was stronger than him, that didn't go into a rage.
Yes.
Just to beat him up.
So,
and that was one of those things where it's just all like...
No, who didn't go into rage? Hulk didn't go into rage, or Thanos didn't go into rage?
Thanos didn't go into rage.
Oh yeah, Thanos is calm, cool, collect. It's gonna take a bit. What was it? What was the one where he pissed him off? It was on Titan that pissed him off when they tried to take off the gun. That's when you saw him in rage, and then he was like... So yeah, so you saw him slightly in rage. I'm sure that's not even a rage, but we were discussing this beforehand, and I like David, who's our other team member, who one of these days we'll have on the show. I like his explanation, which was Banner has been the Hulk for 3 years. Non-stop was the Hulk. He hasn't been Banner at all, and now he's changing back to Banner. So that's it. There is that fear aspect, but it's more of, dude, I've been the Hulk for 3 years. Trying to get back up into the Hulk isn't going to be as easy.
But, like, I guess my argument is, going back to Banner, it just... Right, he wasn't the same Banner.
Because he saw. You got to remember, they're both there. I mean, Hulk.
He's inside
Yeah, he sees it. He understands it. He doesn't communicate too much though. But you got to remember, he literally saw himself getting his ass kicked, and he was just all like that. Like you said, it put fear in him. So this way he knows.
But my trouble was that throughout the whole movie,
the rest of the movie,
like the rest of the movie. You know what?
Banner was being goofy.
Yeah, exactly.
And I agree. Yeah. And I agree.
He wasn't he wasn't showing the fearfulness as you would normally see in a person, right? But it seemed like he was being goofy. And I explained this when the minute he got into the Hulkbuster, to me it felt more like, remember Transformers: Age of Extinction?
Mm-hmm.
Mark Wahlberg, when he finally sits in that alien spaceship.
Yeah.
And he's like, these alien freaking guys are such kick-ass.
Yeah.
He was so, that's the way I kind of felt that dorkiness or goofiness, as Lewis explained, when he's in the Hulkbuster. Oh, check this out, I didn't know this guy does this. It's like, like, okay, you're not the same Banner as we saw in Avengers.
Yeah.
Right? As we, the same.
Oh, because he has the line though too. You got to remember, I'm always angry, and then you just see him literally just.
Yeah, and then also instead of being fearful, he turns into a goof, like...
Yeah, but see, and that right there is the correlation. So in the first Avengers, when he shows up when Stark needs him, he's like, that's what you don't understand. I'm always angry. And then the big green guy comes out. The character, Mark Ruffalo, has changed that character in the movies. And so what we got in Infinity War felt very different than what we got in Avengers. That's the point that we're trying to make. And he's not the only one. There's been other characters. Chris Evans' Cap has pretty much stayed the same. He's not much different than what we met in Avengers. Black Widow is different. From what we met in Iron Man 2 and the Avengers, she's very different now than what she was then.
Yeah, she got blonde hair.
No, and that's my problem. And Marvel's very good about consistency. And so we'll take it back to the title character. When we met Thanos in Guardians of the Galaxy, he established presence. Every word he spoke made you shake. You look forward to it. Ronan doesn't get as much credit as he was formidable, but he couldn't stand up to Thanos. But for Thanos to talk to him like, boy, get out of here. I'll destroy you next time I see you. And that line, I'll bathe your starways in your blood. Again, that invoked, wow, this dude is badass. When you see him in Infinity War, you don't get that, I'll bathe the starways in your blood. Plus, we said it on previous shows, you don't hear that.
Hey, let me ask you this. Did he kind of remind you of Tom Hardy's Bane?
No, not at all.
But more, more, you know how he always explains things. And Tom Hardy's Bane, he was more.
No, the writing was better here than it was in The Dark Knight Rises. And that's what we're talking about writing. That's why I said I wanted Jess here, because I know Jess would be able to better articulate that. But that's the beauty. There was nothing about Thanos that I can pick out. Any of the writing, and I was picking at him. I'm watching him, his movements, everything. There was nothing. Even when he sat down on the stairs in front of his throne, everything he said had a purpose. And again, I like that one line that he said to Gamora, I resent you, I hated that you did that, then I made you a stronger woman. And because you see that in society, people resent their parents, but they don't realize they did it for a purpose. I made you something more. You may not like what I put you through, but you're going to be stronger when you come out of it. So,
but it also cost her. It cost her her home. It cost her her family.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but in truth, she lost her mother, and I sympathize with that. But in truth, it might have been better that her stepfather was there than her mother, because she probably wouldn't be the warrior that she is today if she had been raised by her mother. I don't want to debate that, because that can get really messy and go a lot of ways, but that's the reality. Usually when you have that father figure, you turn out to be a stronger individual, and she did. So, and look at his other kids. We don't even know where they got them from. I don't even really care where the Black Order came from.
Those were just like the generals that ran everything, because you got to remember, he did send them away. They're just the children of. It's not like Gamora or Nebula. They're totally separate.
Or you care for them.
Yeah, because he loved Gamora.
Yeah, are you saying he cared for the Black Order? No, they were his generals.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
What I said.
I just want to clarify.
No, but like I said, as he cared for Nebula and
Gamora.
I don't feel like he cared for Nebula. I don't see a father sitting there.
Once she turned on him, then he was more like, well, damn it.
No, he kind of enjoyed that. He really enjoyed that, dude, because he was just tormenting her ass.
Yeah,
he enjoyed
he tortured
that.
The hell out of her. But that was one of the things, though. No, the way that Maul said it, we are the children of Thanos. Not in the sense of like, oh, he raises. No, that's just the way that it was. They were underneath,
to me, Maul was the second strongest character in the film. There's Thanos, and then there's Maul. Maybe I see you looking funny. So maybe the second strongest adversary. It would be Thanos, and then it would be Maul, and then it would be Proxima, and then it would go on from there. As far as the Avengers, Thor ended up. We were talking about that before you guys got here. What can kill Thor? What has killed Thor? We know he's died in the comics, but I mean, in the movie, he takes the full blunt of a star, dude. It's like, damn.
I don't really remember exactly offhand. I'm sure everybody will comment in, but I mean, there's not too much. And the weird thing is, though, he's taken the sleep twice in the books.
Odin?
I think he may have died once, but of course it was one of the ones where, it wasn't really him kind of thing, they did like a soap opera thing but I mean, there's not too much. He's taken some bad damage, but never to the point. God-wise, no, not really. But yeah, it's just one of those things, though. I can't remember offhand.
I find it interesting because, I mean, from what I know, remember, I haven't read the Infinity story. I don't know much about the Marvel side, but from what I know, Drax had killed Thanos in the comics, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I have that panel because I saved it on my screen many years ago. I thought that was cool because, you see Drax punch through Thanos' chest and he's holding his heart, and Thanos is like, that's interesting. So that was interesting, but to see it played out in a different way in Infinity War, it makes me curious as what they're going to do in Avengers 4.
That's where it's just all like, who knows what's going to happen. I'm sure Captain Marvel will have a bigger impact in part 2.
What is her strength? What is she? So somebody said that she's able to time travel. Is that
able to time travel?
okay?
Yeah.
That'll be one of the things. And I mean, we had guessed beforehand, you know, me and Rachel, when we were talking about it, that she had possessed the soul stone. Of course, that was like way off.
That was wrong.
You know, but I mean, with everything that's come up, it's like, who knows? It's a crapshoot, because that's what I was saying. I was like, if he doesn't get all 6, that means you gotta wait till February, and then all the shit's gonna happen.
And again, you know, what I do know, like what I do know about her, is like, you know, some would say that she's the mightiest Avenger.
Yeah.
Or you know, but again, there's a conflict between her and Thor. Well, not eternity, but it's just like some will say Thor's the mightiest Avenger.
Yeah.
No, it's Captain Marvel is the mightiest Avenger.
But then you're gonna get those ones that'll say like, well, you know, it's got to be Marvel. You know, they're gonna start. No, they'll start getting real pissy, and you're just all like, all right, look,
the comic nerds, they're gonna.
You know, they'll tell you it's like, no, Marvel was the first, he did it, and it's all like, well, where is he? Oh, that's right, he died. You know, it's all like, shit happens, dude. It's all right. But if you just stick with the baseline of Captain Marvel, yeah, he's up there. I mean, godlike Thor, probably like right underneath, maybe. You know, because Thor he basically has the dwarves that will make everything for the problem that you have. And because you got to remember, they did say, well, what's it gonna do? It can do this, and it can summon the frost giant, the Bifrost, this, that, and everything. And it's just like,
what's that? The Stormbreaker?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, you already. I mean, once he said that, you're just like, okay, yeah, it's doing what it's supposed to do. Now, granted, he didn't wield it until later because Beta Ray Billy had that first. It was technically made for him to begin with.
So Beta Ray Bill had Stormbreaker first before Thor did.
Yeah.
And why do you think we haven't gotten Beta Ray Bill?
Well, they showed the face on Ragnarok.
Yes, they did.
But so who knows what happened to him there, because all they did was put the champions in order, and they were making Hulk, because that was 2 above.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was 2 above Beta Ray Bill, because was it Man-Thing? Was Man-Thing, Beta Ray Bill, and somebody?
No, was it Man-Thing? It wasn't Man. Was it? It was Bybeast, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
No, Bybeast. Well, then Bybeast was above Beta Ray Billy, and then it was somebody and then the Hulk. So yeah, but that's the thing. You don't know what happened. You just know that there were champions, and then the Hulk was getting the one made. So that's one of those things where it's just all like, who knows? But with the way that the storyline goes, you're not gonna see him at all, because he's out. And you've already made the hammer, and you can't exactly bring him in because Thor already has it. And they're not going to make Molagiar again, you know. That mold is out.
What do you think of the beginning of the movie? Did it tie into the other movies?
What thing?
I didn't know at the beginning.
Yeah, what thing in the beginning?
When everybody was floating and there were the distress call?
No, yeah, you know, like...
the ship?
Yeah, the ship.
Yeah, that was at the end of Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And you know what? You know, it's like I can never remember Ragnarok. I was like,
because you hated it.
You hated it, yeah. You really didn't like it. Yeah.
And it just, you know what? And that's what it did. I was like, what was this? What movie was this? Like, I couldn't remember it.
It's Ragnarok. Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool, man. It's cool.
And I just
we got you, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one, it followed up because of the fact that.
Did you like how the Soul Stone was portrayed? That was the one stone that we didn't know where it was at, and we didn't know. Did you guys like how where?
Soul for a soul?
Huh?
Yeah.
Soul for a
Well,
soul.
where it ended up, you know, without revealing too much, where it ended up and how it played out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So then another thing is, and I worry that this is a little spoilers, but when it happens, then the gauntlet, it's not destroyed, but it's ravaged.
Because of the fact that he opened his mouth and he said, you should have aimed for the head. And with him doing everything just like that, you got to remember, it took all of that power to do what he wanted.
Okay.
And it was only built to hold the stones.
Not to unleash.
It wasn't built to, I mean, it's built, yes, to hold them, and to individual or maybe 2
not
at
all
once.
at once, not all 6
all
at once.
That's way too much.
Okay.
That's why you see the char on the one side and the
you know, and you see it in that scene.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Because
so that explains that.
Yeah, that's why the dwarf said, you know, I made this to hold the stone, and it was just like, yeah, you. And most people didn't pick up on it or something, but yeah, as far as for you, yes. In the books, no. That damn gauntlet, it doesn't matter. It will not.
There's nothing that can damage it. Yeah.
Once it got made, it was just all like, oh shit, that's like the worst thing you could have made.
And then what did you guys like? I can't remember his the
Peter Dinklage.
Peter. Did you guys like it?
Peter, that he was a giant dwarf.
And they had that funny moment. It was like, like what was that funny line? Or like that's what it means.
That's what killed me.
That's what killed me.
Well, because he was just all like, well, if I die, and he's like, well, that's what killed me, because it's all like,
only if I die.
Only if I die, you know.
Yeah. And no, I liked it. Going back to some of the comedy that I did like. It's like Spider-Man when oh shit, creative distraction. Oh my God, we're gonna die.
Yeah, we're gonna die. Yeah. Well, that's what he needed to get off the bus, though. Yeah.
Again, and that's necessary comedy.
Yeah.
To where you have the unnecessary. Like,
Okay. Don't open the wound again.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing
there was that though, and I mean, it was good because of the fact that I think the way that they had Dinklage was because it's all like they had to say there was so many of us, and now it's just me. My life is in my hands, but my hands don't belong to me. That one was really good. I like the fact that they said that. But I think they had him, I think they used him as the character because of the fact that, and I haven't seen it, so, get mad at me, that's fine. But with how he portrays the Game of Thrones, with however he is, I think that it was almost like, hey, we need that medievalness kind of thing feel.
Yeah.
Because he always had like shorter hair. He didn't have that long hair, right?
in
Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Game of Thrones, he has long hair.
It's a little bit longer.
Yeah,
But not, well,
well, not as long as like Rachel,
Yeah.
but it's like a
Oh, okay.
Well, not as long as in the movie.
But did he have now? Since y'all two watch it, did he have that like medieval vibe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well, I think that's
it was
that
good. It
well.
was a good fit. It was a good fit for that character and then the way he portrayed it.
Peter Dinklage is a really good actor.
Yeah, no, he's
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Yeah, he's great. I mean, shit, look at him in Pixels. Fucking awesome.
So that brings us to what I had asked Rachel. So in the next movie, how can the Avengers be against Thanos? Again, we've gone over that his plan is very different than what it was established in the comic. They humanized him. They made him more philosophical than a tyrant. I mean, did you get that vibe of a tyrant in this movie? Did he come across as a tyrant at all? No. Tyrannical? Not at all.
Slight. But he kind of got out of it, I would say that. But he's always, remember, like I said, you didn't read the books. He's real mouthy. He runs it a lot. That's one of his deals. It doesn't get him in trouble. He just likes to tell you what's going to happen almost. But
that's what he did in this movie.
Like one villain.
Yeah. That's right.
Without it backfiring.
Yeah, without it backfiring. Yeah, he's no goddamn Goldfinger or Dr. No. Sweet Jesus,
And, based on that, that's why I kind of I was like, you think there's a comparison? And like he says no, but you remember the Tom Hardy Bane, or he just talked.
It's the same
but
thing.
yeah,
it's
that's
like
his
Bond
thing.
Villain,
Yeah.
except with Bane, it still backfired. When
Yeah.
he didn't.
But that's the thing. It's almost like when they wrote that character, they said, okay, somebody had just watched Dr. No, and they're all like, hey, let's get it where that shit doesn't happen. And then they're all like, what do you mean? It's like, well, he says what he's gonna do,
and he does it,
and it happens. And they're all like, oh shit, that's what they did for him, because it's like, yeah, because of the fact that they made it to where he didn't fit the formula. I'm gonna tell you the plan. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna do. Fuck me, it didn't work. With him, it's all like, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make it happen. Oh, it worked.
You know what? And if I think about it, he never said that he would snap his fingers. It was everybody else that says if he snaps his fingers,
that he can destroy the universe.
He can do it with the
snap of his finger.
But he never said that.
No, because they already knew what all of them collectively, with the power, that's what was going to happen.
But how? How could they know that?
Because of the fact that he goes from planet and just kills half and then goes to the next one. That's why. Because with the gauntlet, he doesn't have to go from planet to planet. He can just stand, like he said, and just do it.
You missed the question.
Do it all at once.
And that's what we've been seeing in 17 films, is people knew, they kind of had an idea what an Infinity Stone was, but they weren't aware of their power. That was established in the first Guardians. where I have this thing, what is it? The collector says it's an Infinity Stone. Then he gives us the backspill. So how is it that everybody knew that all 6 Infinity Stones would undo when throughout the movies, people barely knew what an Infinity Stone was? In Thor, only Odin knew what the ether was.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
because Gamora is the one who says he can destroy it with a snap of his fingers, and she's the one who knows because he'd already sent her looking for the Soul Stone.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's the one who grew up with him.
Gamora's the only one that knows, because
She knew what his son, and she would tell people, and Strange knows again because he had
the Time
the
Stone.
Time Stone. He knew the importance of it. He didn't necessarily know it was a snap of fingers, but he knew what
Don't
that
ever-
could do with it.
don't
He
ever
knew
get
the
them all
power
together.
Of all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the one thing on Thor though, and it's kind of, this is what I'll say. On Thor, they had it because Odin knew that you want to have everything under a certain watch. You want to have everything there. But then remember, on Ragnarok, Hela, fake, she knew. Because when she walked by and you see the glove, she's like, fake.
Oh,
And that was one of the things though, because they hadn't made it. And it was just like, how did she know? But yeah,
do
remember,
you
she's
do
got
you
back.
think that's why we saw a second glove and the forge? Because
No,
think
that
about
was
that.
the one
That
that they,
was the mole.
that was
Oh,
the
you
mold.
think that was the
Yeah.
mold? I was looking. I was like, is that the mold or is that a second one?
No, that was the mold
See,
because
Okay.
everything had one.
The stones, that's why in Thor the Dark World, they took the ether to the collector because they already had the Tesseract on
Earth.
Asgard.
Oh, Asgard, yeah.
They didn't want to have 2 of them there together.
In the
They
same
knew better.
spot.
Yeah.
So
They knew
kept
to
the
keep-
Tesseract
they-
and they knew to keep it somewhere else.
They knew to keep everything together. It's just here on Earth, they were just all like, oh, well, you know, they're here, whatever. But they didn't realize that, okay, you literally don't want to have them so close because look how fast it happened.
So
And they didn't really know that the Mind Stone, what it was. when
Yeah,
made
they knew it was,
Vision.
yeah. Yeah, that was the other one, though.
So how can they be against him? Again, we were talking that, you know, it's his agenda. His agenda doesn't match up to everybody else's, and I get that. But honestly, when you look at the character and what his purpose was, where can they go with him from there? Where are they going to make it where the Avengers are coming to get him? Other than we need to get the stones out of his hand. That's about the only direction that we just need to get the stones away from Thanos.
Well,
Well,
for, you know,
one, it's not just they need the stones away from him, but they need to undo the fact that he killed half the universe.
Which I don't want to happen.
It's gonna.
TV.
oh, no,
Come
but,
on,
you
like
know,
it's gonna.
Yeah, but you know, for me, you know, you know what? You kill my friends. You know, it's like, you know what? You kill my friend, I'm gonna go after you. That's how they could be against Thanos.
Yeah. And
Well,
then no.
that's, you know,
And then you know what? What gives him the right to choose? You know,
Exactly.
like who lives? So
He
this-
didn't. He didn't. He says that he doesn't choose. That
but
now
it
that's the
doesn't-
question.
It doesn't matter. Just the choice of, no matter how well-intentioned he was, you know, like you said, he was trying to save the universe. It doesn't matter if your solution is killing half the universe.
Yeah.
Like, genocide is not,
Yeah.
oh, I saved the
It's
universe.
not his choice.
No matter what,
It-
yeah.
You know,
That's
it's-
what
it-
evolution's
Yeah, it's what evolution's
you know,
for. It's life.
his planet, he tried, they didn't listen to him, they all died, he's the one who survived, because he knew better. That's evolution. You know, if he had put...
Is that? That's interesting. We
if
could argue
he
that.
had put that same kind of devotion as he had of, oh, I have to stop this from happening to everybody else to rebuilding his home planet, then, well, he'd have a beautiful paradise home planet without
It would be like
having
it
to
was
have
before.
having to have lost everything, having to have gone through that and be all alone on his beautiful new home planet.
That's one of the things. It's just, but
Do you think-
everybody will come back.
Do you think that's what it is? Is it a beautiful new home planet? Because I was telling Diego that's the other thing I like about that scene is this dude doesn't live in a castle. Even his throne, it's a stone in the, where was that?
Ship, it was in the ship.
Was it in the ship? It was in a ship. But this dude, he's not luxurious. He doesn't have.
Well, you saw how Titan was though. Titan was the same way. Everything was nice, lush, and green.
Yeah.
There
when
was
he
the
shows
water
what
and
he
all
sees,
that.
that's
Yeah.
what it looks like.
when
yeah.
he uses
The reality stone.
right?
Yeah.
You know, like they say, this
Everything
is
was there. The only thing that looked kind of weird were the stars that were floating.
Yeah,
and they were
it-
close. Those little buildings, whatever the hell they were.
Yeah, whatever the hell they were.
But on that though, you saw how everything was green and lush, and it was like serene. You know, it was nice.
Yeah.
That's why he said, "When I do it, I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna watch the sunrise on a beautiful universe.
Yeah.
Because he's already done what he needed to do.
See, and I'm very, very interested to see how it goes from there. I mean, is he gonna rest or is he gonna sense a disturbance? And you know, it's part 2 is gonna be very interesting. I'm very interested. So as we close out, because we're out of time, I'm very curious about what we said earlier on. As you guys say that part 2 will establish an Academy Award. That this one's not good enough.
If they wrap it together.
Yeah.
They wrap it
Because
together.
it's. I mean, your point is that they brought everything together. Yeah, but they haven't tied up the story. It's.
What about his
You know.
performance as Thanos?
Josh Brolin?
Ugh, that's kind of tough. That's Hollywood, man. I don't know.
Dude, I mean, Heath Ledger got it for the Joker.
Well, yeah, but
Come on, spit it out.
That wasn't CGI.
Yeah.
See, that's the other
But you couldn't do that with Brolin. You just can't. I mean, it would look bad if you put him in a giant bodysuit. Even for the Hulk, they couldn't do it.
No, but the thing is though, it's like Hollywood has that certain thing to where the people that started it, they already need to go away.
Well, see, no, but my thing with with Heath Ledger is that okay, we've always known the Joker. We're like okay, one way, right? We've seen it, back in the.
You've
Two,
seen it,
technically?
So
Well, like
you've
the-
seen
you
it
know, like-
different ways.
Yeah.
You know it from
Okay.
the comics. You know it from the
Yeah,
animated
you know-
series. You know it
from
The TV
Adam
show.
West,
yeah, Adam West. You also know it from
The movie.
Jack Nicholson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when Heath Ledger came in, he changed the whole aspect of the Joker. Like
Well,
holy
he did the
shit,
psychotic
Yeah,
Red
he
Hood.
was, like,
That was one of the
psychotic,
things,
yeah.
though. He went more Red Hood style.
Yeah.
But see, that was 5 incarnations later. This is the first incarnation of this individual. Was it a powerful enough performance to warrant an Academy Award? A nomination at least.
No,
No? Why not?
the way that it was, and it's only part 1.
It's not. It's memorable because of the character, because of what the movie was, not specifically because of his performance. Like I said, comparing to Heath Ledger is everybody knows the Joker. It's not like, oh my God, this is the Joker. Like they're like, yeah, we know the Joker.
Yeah.
But the way he played him, the way you believe that psychoticness, like you didn't see Heath Ledger at all in the
Yes.
Joker.
No, yeah, you didn't recognize him at all.
But
Now, if
see-
you've ever followed Brolin's performances, I mean, he's worked for Academy and nominated directors. I mean, he can change. He has range, and so that's why I want you guys to
Oh,
take a
yeah.
second look
you
at
don't
it.
see I don't know.
Is there any?
like for example, Andy Serkis? I just saw I just recently saw the recent War of Planet Apes.
Yeah.
That right there, I did not see, like you said, I did not see Andy Serkis in Caesar.
Yeah.
I
And even that,
saw
yeah,
Caesar.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, man. I go, Andy Serkis should have won something, or at least been nominated for that performance.
Yeah.
Right there. But like here,
That's
not
it's
as
hard.
memorable.
It's the Hollywood
Yeah.
thing.
I'll let
know?
you think about it a little more.
You don't lose Josh Brolin and Thanos.
I think you do. Is there anything in that movie that warrants? Is there the CGI? Does that warrant? Is the editing? Is the sound? Anything in the movie? Does it warrant a nomination of any sort? Real quick, and then we gotta go. Doesn't look like it because he's thinking.
Well,
she's
I mean,
looking.
like for me,
it's-
like for me, cinematography. The cinematography would warrant.
Well, see, I didn't like the fact that they had him great in the beginning, and it's like we said, they toned him down as far as the color, the voice, the armor. That's what gets me, because it's like if they would have left it alone and kept them all this. Oh yeah, that would have been. But they didn't. They just kept like every time he came out, it's all like, hey, wasn't he darker? Wasn't he? He wasn't.
I agree with you
The
there,
sound
Rachel.
of his voice.
Yes.
Anything?
I don't
Like
know.
for me, if anything, the cinematography. That's
Yeah.
about it.
Academy
That's it?
Award though. I mean, fuck. I mean, yeah.
From Brosh. I mean, if you want to do like a snippet in time, Peter Parker when he didn't want to go.
Oh, he's talking about the Iron Man scene with Peter Parker.
Yeah, but
I would
Okay.
probably have to go with Diego. They'll most likely do the cinematography, stuff like that, special effects or whatever, all that stuff.
Maybe sound mixing. That's usually
Yeah.
the stuff that they get.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Alright.
it's just hard because it's like they still have the old school ways of thinking.
Yeah.
I get you.
I
get you.
just need to.
From the Academy's perspective.
you know what?
Yes.
Maybe
Oh.
original screenplay. Maybe.
Yeah, because it tied in.
Adaptation.
You know what? Yeah, I would go for that.
Okay.
But as far as performance, no.
Okay. Remains to be seen, but we're holding out for adaptation. We'll see as the year goes on. Hey, before we cut out, again, congratulations to Carl Heffernan. You were the winner of our Infinity Gauntlet. We had posted your name on Facebook, and we also messaged you, so be sure to get back with us within 2 weeks. We'll see you geeks next time.